What is it about the left that makes them want to inject the poison that is politics into pretty much every segment of our American culture? No matter where you turn for an escape, there's the left beating you over the head repeatedly with some social message that in your wildest dreams never thought would connect. The sad part is that it doesn't matter what your outlet is. The left has some kind of propaganda, misinformation, or straight up lie to try and subvert you with. With some avenues, you unfortunately can't avoid their messages. But with others, you can boycott, tune out, and turn off. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me here on MRC-TV for another edition of Things That Need to Be Said. I'm Nick Kangadis. The thing that sent me over the edge yesterday, that pushed me to the point where I finally said no to one of the last couple things I used to escape from the politics of everyday adult life, was the forced injection of still unemployed quarterback Colin Kaepernick into the recently released biggest sports video game in the US, EA Sports Madden NFL 21. It's not so much that Kaepernick is being put into the game, it's that just mentioning Kaepernick is political now. I've spoken about this clown too many times in the past, so I'll just leave it at this. If he was really interested in playing football again, he'd be playing football. But for a quarterback on the downslope of his career, activism became more profitable than football was going to be going forward. Anyway, you get my point. EA Sports must have made a deal with this dude where he allowed them to put him in the game because EA said in a statement that they're rating him as a starting quarterback even though he wasn't a starter before he left the NFL and he hasn't played since 2016. Makes sense. Either way, that pushed me over the edge to the point that I will no longer be buying a game that I've purchased every year for the last 30 years. My point is that it's not just that, it's everything. And the left like it that way. They want you miserable. They don't care about lives, black lives, or any other lives. Their mission is to exert power and control over everyone. And that means that their narrative is everywhere you turn. Take a look around. You can't turn on pretty much any channel anymore without being force-fed some kind of social message. Heck, you can't turn anywhere anymore without being inundated with their dogmatic bullshit. Think about it. Besides the radical media, which, as we all know, is primarily an arm of the left, they've left almost nothing for us anymore. Some of these avenues always had political messages in them, but at least it wasn't constant and completely mean-spirited and devoid of any type of entertainment. Daytime talk shows.
You want to feel the burn.
I do. I'm feeling the burn right now.
Feeling it.
I'm feeling the burn.
Nighttime talk shows.
If you're waking up from a coma, bad timing, first of all. Donald Trump has been sworn in as President of the United States. I know. Listen, we're just as confused as you are, and we've been awake this whole time.
Sitcoms.
See, the system is built to hem a brother up, while you white folks just get a slap on the wrist.
A slap on the wrist? Darrington has to pick up trash on beaches.
That's the difference between white-collar and black-collar crime.
Dramas.
Our hope is to win this November, both the House and the Senate. And if that's the case, we want to be ready to impeach President Trump.
Kid shows.
It's not enough to just say, I'm not racist. It's not my problem. We have to actively fight against racism.
Sports analysis.
The idea of white privilege, the reason it's insidious is because it's invisible to many white people. You have to be made aware of it.
Movies.
It's funny. I can't actually remember the last time you were the one risking something. And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to ex-women.
Brand name companies like Nike, Disney, Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon, with Jeff Bezos basically running the Washington Post now. Comic books. There are a ton of examples of social and political messages in video games, not just Madden. Schools.
I wanted to share day 4 what my daughter is being taught in her school over here in East LA. You got the anti-fascist, you have the Black Panthers Power to the People logo, or the Chinese CCP communist logo. This is communism. This is Marxism being taught in our schools. I actually talked to the principal today. She was a very nice lady. I'm not going to say her name. And she said Black Lives Matter is working with the school. She told me flat out, the school is working with BLM.
Heck, you can't even go to a restaurant in a big city and eat outdoors, which sometimes you have no choice because of the communist situation we're all being forced to go through right now, without being accosted by some freak with a hair color that defies nature who calls you out for being a white supremacist, even if you're not white, ironically, while typically being white themselves and exerting the privilege they blame you for having. These are middle to upper class kids who know nothing about living in the real world, being the useful idiots they are to serve their communist masters. So what can you do? How do you escape? How do you mentally get away from the leftist billy club designed to beat you over the head until you comply? I honestly think, and it takes longer for some of us than others to break away from what we're used to, but I honestly think that people are beginning to figure it out for themselves. All this technology, all of these advancements, and there are some that are legitimately amazing and needed, but a lot of those things are currently the exact tools used to carry out the left's power grab. People are learning to disconnect. That's right, you should disconnect. Sometimes, if I've had a particularly long day at the office, listening to political people say political things for their own political benefit for hours upon hours while receiving notification after notification from the umpteenth app and platform I'm pretty much forced to keep up with, you know what I do? At least for an hour or two, I turn off my phone. I turn off my laptop. Everybody needs a break. Look at one of the unintended consequences of the left's push to shut people down in their homes for months on end. And trust me, the left didn't plan for this. More and more people are leaving big cities. More and more people are disconnecting and spending time with members of their family. And more people are reconnecting with nature. They don't want you outside. Why? Because it's good for you. I mean, unless you're in a decent-sized city where BLM Marxists and Antifa cowards are burning down your neighborhood. Folks, I'll leave you with this. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it because it's never been more important. Don't let these people dictate how you live your life. And that's what they are, dictators, who, funnily enough, call everyone else a dictator. Find what you like and do that. Don't let people tell you that you can't, because you can. Obviously, as long as whatever it is within the law. You only get one life, and they want you to live it their way. Well, that's not the America I know, and it ceases to be America if you allow them to do it. So, what do all of you think? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if I should keep saying things that need to be said. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Parler. If you like this video, don't forget to share it and give it a thumbs up. Those are the two best ways to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that they might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video if it hasn't been taken down already. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.